Okay, it looks like we might be live on my channel potentially.
Okay.
But I'm getting video output low.
Okay.
Through using OBS. I don't know how well that's going to work. Does say that there is. It is live. It is red. So it's very, very poor from the way it looks. Okay, it looks like we might be live on my channel potentially. With a decent amount of slowdown.
Okay.
But I'm getting video output low.
Okay.
About a good 5 seconds behind whatever we say.
Oh boy.
Through using OBS. I don't know how well that's going to work.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to stop mine because that'd be kind of annoying. People watching going, what? I can't tell what's going on. Because yeah, I was able to use open broadcast software, and that's what I was able to use to get it to at least connect.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I used for my reaction videos and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Not the best software in the world, but it's free.
I got you on that one. Well, it sounds like the delay is a little better now.
I'm going to try to use, I think I might have had too many files all open at the exact same time. Let's see if... Setting video output low. What else can I stop on mine? Trying to make sure I've got the least amount of things running, because I have not upgraded my computer in several years.
Yeah, we're in the same boat on that one then, I guess. I've had mine for maybe a couple months, but yeah.
Close that, close that, close that. Everything's not smooth enough. Okay, settings, got that, got that, got that. Got that. Audio's good. That's good. Yeah, so mine is still saying video output low. That's why I actually stopped the live stream to see if I can get to go any better.
I got you on that one. Well, it sounds like the delay is a little better now. I think it says we're live right now, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I just happened to notice, but I double-checked on the...
it is live.
On my phone where it says there's a little bit of a... Or it's actually playing
very,
from,
very poor
stuff from earlier.
Okay,
so,
it looks like...
Oh, well, we might as well just get this thing started.
On my channel, potentially. Yeah. Okay. With a decent amount of slowdown.
Okay.
But I'm getting video output low.
Okay.
Sounds like it's replaying 5 seconds behind whatever we say.
Oh boy.
Through using OBS. I don't know how well that's going to work.
Holy shit. Gotta love technology.
Okay, I will... Okay, this says that... Okay, let's get that ahead to the live broadcast. Close that, close that, close that. Okay, so I will actually pause the one that I've got, because it does say that we are going live. From that... check another source, see if I actually are going live. For the people who are currently watching this, we're having technical difficulties.
Yep, sorry everybody.
Of course, the last thing I looked at on my iPad was stuff for my daughter. So we go to the homepage on mine. Okay, yep, and actually it says there's 3 people watching. Wow. Okay.
Wow, nice to know some people like us screwing up. You know. Dear Josh and Wes, we love your little commentary of comedy when you're fucking up, but you know, hey, what can you do?
Yeah.
um,
Okay, so this is trying to discuss about Royal Rumble predictions. Hopefully, this ends up going a little bit better, and of course, this will be kept for posterity. And like most of these things, I don't actually do any editing, so doing one of these things live is about the same as how I would normally do it. So I guess probably I guess let you introduce yourself, since people who are watching kind of already know my channel and what I'm about. So,
all right,
give
well,
you a couple seconds.
Yeah, my name is Evan Wesselman, aka Wildman West from Dragonfire Entertainment. Recently, we've been doing a little side segment called Planet Powerbomb, which it kind of brings back a lot of old school references to wrestling and also kind of predictions, if not even reviews on current pay-per-views. And I wanted to bring Josh on the channel because I've known him for well over about 10, if not 15 years now. Friends with my brother in college, and we've been wrestling fans for years and friends ever since. So, Josh, thank you for wanting to do this with me.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start off probably with the one match they got for the kickoff show, which actually is the U.S. Open Challenge. So we've got Bobby Roode defending his newly acquired title. It's always weird having a Canadian holding the U.S. title, but well,
we had D'Lo Brown have the European Championship, so
yeah, but he's
American
from Chicago,
with the European,
and that's okay. The first, he was the first inter-Euro champion, however they called that.
Yeah, because then what was it? Back in 98, 99, and then Kurt Angle did the same thing right before WrestleMania 2000.
Yep.
But
so actually, I thought
that should be an interesting one.
Yeah, I thought the tournament was pretty good. It was weird that they did 3 matches in one night on SmackDown, but I guess they wanted to, not have that eat up time for the go home SmackDown show. I'm almost
because
I think they would.
It was just weird about this whole thing. Yeah. Because we were really hoping for like maybe a good match between Dolph Ziggler and maybe somebody for like the #1 contender tournament maybe, but I'm not exactly sure the whole situation with Dolph Ziggler, whether he's gone. I don't know. I do believe that WWE really hasn't given him a good enough notoriety. He's had many titles. I'll give him that.
Yep.
He's a great worker. He can put people over better than most. And it's a shame that when he came back on Raw after was it Night of Champions or Clash of Champions, wasn't it that he won? Or
it would have been Clash of Champions. So it would have been SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then he came back on Raw he came back on the following night and just basically just dropped the title, and it was just kind of like, the hell just happened? But only he and the powers that be really will know or are going to say anything about it. But regarding this with Bobby Roode, obviously the Open Challenge, I don't think Jinder Mahal is going to be his matchup, but I'm looking forward to seeing who it might be. I'd love to predict who it could be, but I'm pretty much going to be wrong. So
for that,
who do you think will?
I would actually like to see if Dolph Ziggler would be the one to answer the Open Challenge.
And who knows? Maybe this could be a work, where Dolph pulled the stunt and then come back and get himself another,
Because with that one, it's like, well, they haven't built up any really good, solid challengers. Mojo Rawley would be pretty good, because he's actually done a pretty good job recently.
Yeah, I understand that one. If Dolph Ziggler does come back for the Open Challenge, I would probably say that he might win the title. But at the same time, when somebody recently wins a title and they've got a lot of good notoriety and they could are going to be groomed for another push in the future, I'd probably say 8 times out of 10, Bobby Roode's probably going to retain the title on Sunday. That's just my guess.
Yeah. I was actually reading that Dolph Ziggler might be one of the surprise entrants for the Royal Rumble itself.
That could be good.
Which could actually give him a pretty good pop. But yeah, I think whoever they put against him, unless it's somebody that we don't expect at all, he's probably going to retain.
Yeah.
So then we've got the first of our 2 tag matches. We've got Shield. I guess now it's probably 2.5 because it's a Rollins and almost said Benjamin. It's the wrong time. Since it's
Jason Jordan.
Yes, this is Rollins and Jordan taking on the Bar. They've had some really good matches, but at this point in time, I would have a hard time seeing Jordan costing the title now. Because I do picture all 4 of them going on to the Rumble because it needs bodies. I could see them retaining, probably with Jordan being the person who kind of slides in at the end and gets the final pin, and then just does his standard like, yeah, I did it, this was all me. But
yeah, I agree on that one. However, I mean, like, because Rollins and Jordan really haven't had the titles for too long, if I remember correctly.
They won the last Raw of 2017.
Okay, yeah. So I could see them maybe retaining, but maybe they might need to be groomed again for maybe another feud. Maybe they could do like a 2 out of 3 type thing going into Mania. Cesaro and Sheamus, they're beasts. You know what I mean? One's the big beast and one's the little Superman, basically. And I mean, and all 4 of them are great workers. I know they can definitely, I mean, Jason Jordan's still fairly new, and I mean, it's a good thing that he's got 3 people like Rollins, Cesaro, and Sheamus in the ring to put him over, and because if I remember correctly, isn't Jason Jordan the son of Kurt Angle, something like that? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, I could see them maybe retaining, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Cesaro and Sheamus are probably gonna win this one because I could love to see maybe a rematch at Mania for it, or maybe have like a build up for a. They do a lot of tournaments nowadays during like Raw and SmackDown, and I would like to see a tag team tournament. I really would, because we don't see a whole lot of them much anymore. It's like here or there. Like usually, like if I remember correctly, most of the times it's around like SummerSlam and or maybe Survivor Series. It's one or the other, and it switches off like every other couple of years. But yeah, definitely, I'm going to say Cesaro and Sheamus are probably going to take this one.
Okay. Yeah, because I could see it being Jordan and Rollins taking it, specifically because Raw has Elimination Chamber between now and Mania, and I could very easily see in the Rumble match Jordan eliminating Rollins, and then them probably having a singles match at WrestleMania. Because now WrestleMania will probably be 36 hours long and take place over 4.5 days. But I could really see Jordan and Rollins having a really solid match at Mania. And I think that around that time, I know Sheamus is dealing with, I think it's a neck or a back injury. So that's why he hasn't been working as much.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, I could maybe see them not winning it. And then, depending on what they try to do with the reformed Balor Club, maybe putting the titles back on Gallows and Anderson, probably Elimination Chamber. So,
yeah, because they've got a pre-show match on Sunday against the Revival, so it could be a nice little interesting. It'll be an interesting, kind of match because, Gallows and Anderson, they never fail to impress. Mm-hmm. They just, they're part of the, they're part of the group for a reason.
Yep. And that would kind of be the rematch from their squash segment at Raw 25.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't actually. I saw bits and pieces afterwards. I have to admit, I kind of fell asleep during it. I kind of did. I think the only reason.
I would like to say you missed a lot, but you didn't.
No, I went old school, and USA Network, don't hate me. I did VCR'd it, and then but I forgot to put the recording on SLP instead of SP. So yeah, I kind of missed the last hour. So I did get to see Taker come back, and yeah, it was pretty cryptic, but what can you do?
Yeah, for Raw 25, you didn't really miss a lot. As long as you got to see The Miz beat Roman Reigns, that was pretty much the highlight of the show. or hear the
Yeah.
fans at the Manhattan Center shouting obscenities whenever anybody decided to show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we've got our other tag match, the 2 out of 3 falls American Beta, this is the second iteration, and the Usos. I'll be honest,
This is
the
going to be a good
Usos
one.
have just been killing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Usos have always been killing it for the last few years. I mean, and you know, even like some of their matches between like, you know, like Cesaro and Sheamus. You know, like when you get like 4 behemoths like that in a ring, and you know they're just beating the living piss out of each other. I mean, yeah, you got to expect. You know, there could be some injuries that happen. You know, unfortunately, it happens in any type of sport. But I will say, I would. Chad Gable is. Oh my God. He is. Well, I keep using the word beast, and it's like there. I mean, everybody says there's only one beast in the WWE, and that's Brock Lesnar. Gable could probably give him a run for his money if he worked at it real hard. But and Shelton Benjamin. I mean, Shelton Benjamin, man, that guy, he's a miracle, man.
Yeah.
He just, I don't know how he does it. I mean, because he's been around since 2002. Like roughly around like the end of Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yeah, because he was part of Team Angle around the time when Angle was feuding with Lesnar.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be an amazing match. I could see Gable and Benjamin maybe winning. I would say the second fall. If it's 2 out of 3 falls, usually in a match like that. It goes down to the third one.
Yep.
I could see the Usos taking the first fall. I could see Gable and Benjamin getting the second one by like a surprise moment. And then the third fall is probably going to go to the Usos, and it's going to be just one of those big surprise finishes that we won't see coming. I'd like to see it, and then maybe have a rematch at Mania, or like we were talking about with maybe some of these tag tournaments and on Raw and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I mean, the possibilities are endless, and they need to start doing that more because some of the, I hate to say it, we're fanboys in this type of, group, and I mean, I'm sure we're not saying anything anybody else hasn't said before. It's just, it's maybe a little bit more of the tag teams, because they keep giving pushes to the singles competitors, but, tag teams, they really need to come back. They really do. I mean, they have, but at the same time, when I've watched, episodes of Raw and SmackDown, it's just I see more, singles matches than I do tag teams. I mean, obviously, if Teddy Long were around right now, he'd be wanting tag matches all day long. But maybe I'm Teddy Long in my own right. No, but I digress. Sorry about that, Robble.
Not a problem. Because with this one, I almost want to pull for American Alpha on this one. Predominantly because if they win it, then we could see American Alpha take on the New Day. And then the Usos could do a secondary feud. I know they've got some tag teams that they can kind of work. I do think that seeing Gable and Benjamin versus Rusev Day would be pretty good.
That actually would be really interesting on that one.
They've got enough tag teams that you can see feuding for the title on SmackDown. Fashion Police, no, they're the joke team. Ascension, they're also the joke team. Bludgeon Brothers, I picture them not being near the title for at least another month.
Yeah, I'd give it maybe 2 to 3.
Yeah, those guys would probably.
I figured. Yeah, they seem to have like a lot of squash matches to start off with, to kind of show their size and everything. I mean, I would say they're probably this era's Brothers of Destruction, but I mean, I like the concept, but I mean, we've seen the 2 big bastard type, teams before, and I'm not sure, but I mean, like you were saying, you'd love to see a lot of these feuds going on with a lot of tag teams with like Raw and SmackDown, and because I haven't really seen a lot of. I'd like to see more of those kind of tag team triple threats, if not fatal 4-ways, like one of my favorites. I mean, regardless of what pay-per-view, it was like between the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. I mean, those were like some of those epic,
Yeah.
multiple tag team feuds for the title. I'd love to see something like that again, even if it's a TLC type thing. I'd dig it.
And then I think it was a couple of WrestleManias ago when SmackDown was doing a ton of tag teams. I want to say they had a Fatal 4-Way where it was the Guerreros, was one tag team. Angle and Benoit were another tag team. And I want to say it might have been the World's Greatest Tag Team, and they had another tag team in there. And it was one of those. I'm trying to remember. I was like, man, this was amazing. You got probably 8 of your best guys feud over the tag belts, and it really made the tag belts seem really important. And I do know on the NXT side, pretty soon we're going to have a call-up for the Authors of Pain, who are 2 300-pound guys. And it's like, I don't know, do you put those guys on SmackDown and have them kill some of the smaller teams, or do you put those guys on Raw and have them kill some of... But then, after a while, Raw's going to have no real tag teams until they start doing some call-ups.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I mean, the whole brand splitting and everything, it has bugged me at times, because sometimes one, show can be a little more stacked than the other.
Yeah.
I noticed that maybe about 10 years ago it felt like that a lot. And then, I mean, now they've kind of evened it out, but at the same time, you got... It's kind of, reminiscent of kind of like the Monday Night Wars were, between WWE or WWF, whichever one you want to call it back then, but in WCW. And it's very hard, like when you're competing within your own company, it just seems a little, I don't know, I feel like it's been done in a way. I mean, with the whole bragging rights thing that went on, I mean, I don't know.
Well, what helped...
Maybe I'm just old-fashioned.
Yeah, what helped SmackDown a lot towards the tail end of about the middle towards the end of the first year after they did the brand split, is they had a lot of tag teams that were doing well, and they introduced their women's belt. So their women's division and their tag division were both doing really well. And now, about a year later, and it's like, well, Charlotte's got the women's title, so that way then she gets to have all of the belts, and I've got the commemorative plaque that's, she's the only woman to have held all 4 belts.
Yeah.
And now they're SmackDown, now their tag division, it's like, well, they've got 3 really good teams in the Usos, American Alpha, and the New Day. Rusev Day is right there. And then the Bludgeon Brothers nipping at their heels. It's like, that's enough to keep your division running for a couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
Because the advantage of SmackDown being 2 hours is you can do, we won't do a tag match this week. Why? Because we're doing 2 women's matches. And we can't have tag matches, women's matches, and keep the 2 main titles going forward. And I was like, that works. That's why watching NXT works. Because you get 1 hour, so you don't see everybody every week. It allows them to do the long-term stories. But I think we're getting off tangent here pretty quick.
It happens, man. It's when you love something, we love to talk, Yeah.
So, who is AJ? Oh, sorry. AJ has the 2-on-1 handicap match. I don't know how I forgot about that. Taking
this
on
is
Tammy.
going. Yeah. It reminds me of No Way Out with, was it Undertaker and Kane versus Austin, and of course Austin got screwed over by McMahon and all them, and they said the winner of the belt is, but then again they both pinned him, so nobody really knew who the champion was. That was kind of one of those matches back then, especially for a main event back then in the Attitude Era. It kind of stunk up the joint. You kind of felt it was coming, but at the same time, it helps build that. It built that Austin McMahon feud like so far off the chart. Yeah. However, with this one, I mean, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're a bunch of knuckleheads. I mean, they can wrestle, but they can definitely put on a show. Yeah. But they don't call AJ Styles the Phenomenal One for no reason whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, this guy is, he's been through the ringer in every company he's been in, and he's shown his stripes. Yes. And I think he's going to win this one by some sort of, like outside interference maybe or something like that, where somebody might come in and, either save the day or something like that. But If not, AJ Styles will probably do something phenomenal that we haven't seen. If not, I mean, and should Owens and Zayn beat him on Sunday, I'd like to see Styles come back at Mania and have his moment to maybe retain that title if should that happen. But for posterity now, I'm just going to say I think AJ Styles is going to win it, just because normally on a 2-on-1 match, AJ, like I said, he's an amazing performer. Yeah, the cards are stacked against him in this match, but we're always looking for that underdog miracle moment, and I think we're ready for one. And it doesn't necessarily have to be at Mania. I'd like to see I'd like to hear people say Royal Rumble moments from now on. Because I mean, Mania is awesome. Hit or miss most of the time. I mean, WrestleMania 11, we're not going to go there, but yeah, I would like to see more. I mean, other than Kofi Kingston's amazing Royal Rumble moments, trying not to get eliminated, I'd like to see some other things too.
Yeah.
And I think it's AJ Styles' time to, make a mark on Royal Rumble, whether it's in the Royal Rumble match or in this championship match. So,
yeah, I think that AJ is definitely going to retain with this one too. Just from when Bray Wyatt got sick with, he was either the mumps or whatever he got, and then AJ had to sub in to take on Finn Balor. Flying from like South America to the States to do a match, which was amazing, and then saving us from seeing Jinder Mahal take on Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, and then putting on easily the best match Lesnar has had in a while. I could easily see him taking this, and I really hope that a SmackDown guy wins the Rumble, and then we get to see Styles versus... I would like to see, if Balor were to win the Rumble and then jump ship over to SmackDown, it might do some good things for him. Same with Shinsuke Nakamura. And then
that's one of my top picks.
Then you have all those New Japan fans be like, yes! Let them go all out. Give them an hour and a half. Let them go. Every move they know. But yeah, I think AJ definitely retains this one too. Right. So now we got our Hossy Hoss match, where we got Strowman, Lesnar, and Kane.
Oh.
2018. Kane in a feuding for the big belt.
Yeah. How long's it been?
Kane seems to be like everyone's feud once you win the title. When Daniel Bryan won the title at Mania, he feuded with Kane. When Seth Rollins won the title at Mania, he feuded with Kane. When you want to destroy a Royal Rumble, you have Big Show and Kane eliminate like half of your talent. Yeah. I really do hope that Kane is just there to eat the fall.
Yeah.
And
I would like to see Braun. I actually want to say Braun Strowman is going to win this one.
I would love to see Strowman win it.
Because he's brought a breath of fresh air in the heavyweight division that I haven't seen in a very long time. Because, and no disrespect to Brock Lesnar, but who am I kidding? A lot of disrespect to Brock Lesnar. He's been wrestling part-time for the most that I've seen, or maybe he's wrestled more. Like I said, I've been out of the loop a couple months now, just personal reasons. But I don't know. I guess, and it's not necessarily just Lesnar. It's, I guess we've had a lot of superstars in the heavyweight division that just seem like they're over already. Let somebody else have a chance. I mean like Cena or Orton or even the Miz back in his heyday. It's like just I'd like to see like a big guy, like a bigger guy than Brock Lesnar get the title. I mean like one of those Undertaker types, because the thing about Braun Strowman is he kind of has that Undertaker attitude of like Dead Man Inc. Like this is my yard type, mentality. But he does it better. I don't know how it is, but I think it's like when he just the other day he made some comment. And now they've got shirts of it like "Get these hands." I was just like, I don't know where the hell that came from, but that was epic. It did make me think of Rockbiter from Neverending Story about these hands, but but that's just my '80s inner child talking. But other than that, but it worked. But it works for him though.
And that was because he was taking on Rhino, and Heath Slater was on the outside of the ring. He grabs a mic, and he was like, either you're going to be a cheerleader and stay on the floor, or get in there and get these hands.
Get these
hands. And the crowd just went nuts. And I was like, Get these hands as a T-shirt.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not finished.
it was one of those.
Get these hands.
I guarantee that couldn't have been written. I swear that was it was like the Austin 316 moment, completely unscripted. You know, he just told him what he felt, and you know what, it worked. And I think it works better that way.
Yeah.
You know, when things aren't, you know, when some of their storylines aren't as templated down, where they actually say how they're feeling.
Yeah, and the advantage they've given Strowman is he's a gigantic individual, and when they show his family, his dad is like his size, and his mom is a good size too, and his sister is almost the same size. So Braun Strowman's sister, picture no beard, and it's pretty much how his sister looks. So they've got this massive genetic stock, and we were at a house show when they had Orton take on Lesnar in Chicago, and Strowman comes walking down to the ring, and everyone's like, "Yeah, he big. How big? I can reach him from here. He's massive." And then it's like he's taking on a normal sized guy. No, he's thrown like a toddler. It's like, no, he's that dude. And then they did a great job with the feud with him and Reigns, and I was like, this is a guy that you go, he's hot. The crowd digs him. You could put the title on him, and you have him run with that belt to Mania, and he's going to put on an amazing match, and the crowd is going to love it.
Yeah, I mean, and I've noticed whether he's heel or babyface, like you said, he's hot, white hot. I mean, his heat could be white hot. I mean, his popularity could be white hot. I mean, he's on the fast track. Maybe a little green at once in a while, but at the same time, he doesn't let it get the best of him, and he knows how to put on one hell of a show.
Yeah.
And I guarantee, I mean, there's a lot of awesome matches on this card. I would say that as much as I would think AJ Styles would steal the show with his match, Braun Strowman is going to be the counterpoint on that one. I think both of those matches are going to be the end-all be-all, for like the match of the night, basically.
Yeah.
But I think Braun Strowman definitely kind of has an upper hand because he's also having to deal with, two other, monsters in the ring that, one false move, that ring's probably going to collapse again. But what can you do?
Well, if they want to do that, then we'll know it'll be the main event of the night. But yeah, I think we're in agreement. I like Lesnar.
Yeah.
I've seen him in person, and he's like a refrigerator. Just a little bit shorter because he's like 6'3". So he's my height. Just 100 pounds more muscle and like a foot wider. But I know his contract's running up. I'd say you take the title off him and you put him in a special attraction match at Mania.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
Well, even if it's a special referee or guest referee, I mean, because that would be an interesting thing. If we had like a big man match, like if let's say Strowman wins. And you get another big guy from any of the, whether it's a stable or singles competitor. And let's say, Brock feels he got the short end of the stick losing the match at Rumble. Bring him in as a special enforcer, basically. And then and of course he'll get involved. And then whether the champion wins or gets screwed, it'll still be an interesting match to say the least.
Everybody, and then the crowd will be happy.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Okay, so now we've got the 2 Rumble matches.
Oof.
We'll go with the women's one first. Ironically, since the champions can't be involved, I mean, they're going to have to call up a lot of NXT women. And they brought out quite a few women for Raw 25 who could potentially get in the ring. I think Kelly could be able to go in the ring, or she'd be involved in the ring. I don't know if she could still go in the ring. Trish Stratus is still in decent enough shape to do it. They had the Bellas there from NXT. I could see them probably calling up the Iconic Duo for this match. Maybe Shayna Baszler. So now we're up to about 7. May or may not have Ronda Rousey. I hope they don't, because it'd be kind of a waste.
I mean, it was a hot commodity at WrestleMania 31, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she came out and kind of had her stare down with Stephanie. But, yeah, I mean, the whole concept, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's awesome seeing, athletes, especially in mixed martial arts, being involved in another sport, even something like this. I mean, Ken Shamrock alone coming back from UFC over to to WWF, and even Dan Severn going into WCW before WWF. I mean, they held their own. I mean, Tank Abbott obviously in WCW was kind of a flop. Lesnar, it's always been hit or miss. I mean, when he first came in as as a wrestler first, after in football and all that crap, he had an amazing run in the beginning with Paul Heyman. When he went to UFC, I could take it or leave it, to be honest. I mean, obviously he was watching UFC enough in the past. I liked it when people first started out having matches, on like mid card, lower card, and then building their way up to a championship match. But they just kind of threw him right in, and it was just kind of like, well, then what's that do for everybody else? A lot of some of the greats that have been in there because I mean, even like obviously Randy Couture got taken down pretty quick by Lesnar, but that kind of happens, because he was getting down to his last licks in the industry. Because then he retired after losing to Machida, I think it was.
Okay.
After that, but yeah, with Ronda, I mean, she could bring a lot of fans, I think, but if she were to be a part of it, I'd like to see her be eliminated very quickly.
Yeah.
Or if she's not in the Rumble, I'd like to see her in commentary and maybe build up.
It's funny.
Like maybe have a feud to build towards Mania, like a gimmick match against Stephanie or something.
It's
just
funny
to build some sort of
the commentary point, because Stephanie McMahon is actually going to be doing commentary for the match.
I know.
I could very easily see her do. Because I think it was a couple years ago in the Rumble, all the commentators got involved. So I could very easily see it's number 30. Like, well, whose music is that? Oh, it's that little Kim song again. Then she takes off her hat. It's like, aha, I'm in the ring now. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Only if you get eliminated by either Asuka or Sasha Banks. But looking through that match, it's like, well, when it comes to doing your firsts, it almost always comes down to Sasha.
Yeah, I mean, Sasha is, amazing competitor. I mean, it is unfortunate regarding, certain people's injuries that won't be part of the Rumble this year. I mean, there has been a lot of hate. I have seen it on social media. I mean, it is just, it's getting ridiculous. Accidents do happen, but at the same time, people do have to be held accountable regardless, It's usually a 50-50 thing.
Yep.
I mean, I could see Sasha being in the Final Four.
Okay.
I would really like to see Asuka, win it, because, she's definitely earned her stripes. Definitely. Nia Jax, though, she's just awesome. You know what I mean? I've seen her, she's kind of like the newer generation of like China, like manhandling, the men's division. And it's very unfortunate that she won't be able to do the storyline with said people we probably shouldn't be talking about right now because of their indiscretions. But yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But I would like to see them, give her a push now that storyline's been kind of nixed. So the only other person I could really see winning this, because maybe her push is ready, Becky Lynch. She had been away for a while because apparently she was filming a movie. And a lot of times with a lot of wrestlers, once they start getting in that movie bug, that's, especially if it's a good one,
it was the Marine, 6.
Okay, then she may not get a big push after that then. I don't know. But
so she's joining that long line of women who've been in films with The Miz, like Summer Rae, Paige, and Naomi.
Yeah. But I'd like to see Becky Lynch, at least be in the top 4, because I mean, she's a little ass kicker. You know what I mean? It's she's just bad. She's just bad. That's all I can say on that.
And having met her, she is a wonderful person to be around. So
I've seen interviews and everything, but
so it does sound like our final 4 is probably Asuka, Nia Jax, Banks, and Becky Lynch.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, it could. I mean, I'm sure I'll be wrong on a few of them, but that's the ones that I'd like to see.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're at the men's rumble. So who knows who we're going to have show up? Well, we'll probably have the 8 people from the tag matches earlier. If they decide.
Let's see. I've got the list of 18 of the 30 that have been announced so far. We've got Elias, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, Rusev, Aiden English, Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, The Miz. That's probably why he's not defending the the title. Ty Dillinger, Big E. Well, basically the New Day is going to be in there, and then Roman Reigns. That's the only other one. Other than that, the other 12 are going to probably be like surprise entries for who knows who, but maybe some legends.
Let's see. They had the Boogeyman was on Raw 25.
That could be a possibility for like the gimmick entry. Yeah. As long as it's not Gilbert.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mick Foley, his career is effectively done since he had the hip replacement surgery.
Yeah, that definitely makes a downer.
I don't want to see Taker because it would make no sense.
As much as I'd love to see him in it.
Yeah.
I think it's just about time to hang up the hat.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, the last couple Manias that he's been in, he did everything he could, whether or not he won. WrestleMania 30, it was a damn shame. The streak had to end the way it did. But he took a lot of abuse in that match. He did. Was it he got a concussion, I believe it was, after the second or third F5?
I think it was the
second
second one he got the concussion. Because they kept that.
But the fact is, the fact is, he was still. He was able to get back up. After the match. Obviously, probably when he hit back behind the curtain and everything. I'm sure things went down where he needed to go to the hospital. Obviously, when you get a concussion like that, hindsight's 20/20. But obviously, we know what happened.
Yeah.
But
when it comes to some of the legends and surprise people, I'm trying to think of who they really got that's left. That could probably still.
Well,
still pop.
Well, Matt Hardy's part of this. I would love to see Jeff. Hopefully that would be kind of cool, But he's always been kind of hit or miss of his personal life. I
think Jeff is still injured. I think he injured his shoulder.
Oh, okay.
So when he comes back, he'll get to come back as Brother Nero.
Yeah.
And
I got to admit, I love Matt Hardy as Broken Matt Hardy in WWE. We need a little bit of that comic relief once in a while.
Yes.
My favorite moment recently was actually while I was recovering from surgery. My dad was in town, and we were watching Raw, and Matt Hardy was playing checkers, I believe, and you don't see who he's playing against, and camera pans away, and it's the Goldfish. I was like... And he started laughing. My dad was laughing, going, he's like, they still do shit like this? I'm like, yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, what really makes it work, too, is that he has, like the blue curtain behind him. Like, it's very obvious, or it's like, and where am I filming it? Right here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's so dumb.
Because, in every era, throughout I want to say the last 30 years, since we've been watching it during Hulkamania era, you've always had that kind of outlandish character. Whether they're psychotic, because let's see in the pre and going into, like, right before the Attitude Era, we had Psycho Sid. He was that eccentric, just kind of out there, even though he couldn't, carry a tune when it came to doing promos, but... at least he had that psychotic nature that worked for him because we didn't understand what he was saying. But that's the point. He was psycho. You can't really understand a psycho unless you are one. I would love to see a battle of the psychos between Sid and Matt Hardy, though. That'd be interesting. Even if it wasn't a match, just, them, being on a microphone, just, cracking jokes at each other or, trying to see who's crazier. But
well, plus, even around that time, too, we would have had Papa Shango when Sid was Sid Justice. And then you would have also had, well, Waylon Mercy. Most people don't remember him that much.
Yeah.
And then around the time of Undertaker's, when you had Mordecai, who we now was Kevin Thorne when he was the vampire.
Thorne.
Then you would have had Gangrel when you had the Brood. So they've always had a few characters that are kind of just odd, which at the end of the day actually kind of works.
Some do, some don't.
I think Kevin Furtig, the guy who was Mordecai and Kevin Thorne, I think he still wrestles.
Yeah, I think so.
No one would know who that is if he comes out of the ring, though.
No.
They'd be like, hey, it's the... I remember, you did some stuff, and all those gimmicks died. They died hard.
Yeah.
There's that one guy who dressed up like you at events. Never mind how hard it is to dress like Mordecai and go to an event in Chicago.
Oh my god, yeah, no kidding.
I don't recommend wearing a full white body suit and a weird silver staff and walk around Chicago. Don't recommend it.
No, I don't either. Yeah.
Being Kevin Thorne in Peoria was easier because, you know, just Eurotrash vampire with the cane. Easier to pull off.
Yeah. It would have worked better in the Quad Cities for me, but, you know, back in the day. But let's see, who would you like to see either win this Rumble match or let alone the Final Four? Who do you think might be taking it?
From my standpoint, the most inner mark in me would love to see Rusev take it. Because if anything, that would be one of the most bizarre. Like, wait, did Rusev just win the? He just won the. Yep. It would be a callback to when it was Roman Reigns and Rusev, and the crowd's chanting for Rusev back when he was the America suck, I'm awesome, foreign heel, foreign heel, and now he's beloved.
He's a lovable heel. I mean, it's kind of like you know, like with Iron Sheik. You know, back in the '80s, he was like this most despised, you know, heel. And nowadays, I mean, he still does his whole "Jabrania per the mustache," you know, all that. Yeah. But everybody loves him. I mean, literally on Twitter, everything he says when he drops F-bombs right before everything, everybody loves it. They're just like, "Yay, Sheiky," you know?
Sheiky baby. Yep.
Sheiky baby. Yeah.
I think that since they are going to be in Philadelphia, if they put, with Roman Reigns being in it, I know he will be in the Final Four, just so that way then they can find out how to turn the crowd just right.
And hopefully make them go nuts when he gets eliminated.
Yep. If Shinsuke were to have any momentum at all, I think he'd be a great person to win it, but I'm almost thinking they might finally pull the trigger on Balor again. So I could see it being
I could see that. Yeah, because unfortunately, what was it? Maybe about a year ago is when he had his really bad injury, something like that.
It was SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, okay, yeah, and I mean, and he was getting such a good push at the time. I mean, you know, with what he was doing, and I think with all the time in recovery, I think it made him hungry. I think the fans are hungry for it. Yep. I mean, I agree with you on that. With I could see Finn Balor at least being in the Final Four, if not winning it. I'd love to see him win it though, because I mean, he's got the charisma, he's got the drive, and he's got the performance, you know, ability to pull it off.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And plus, that way, if they really wanted to pull the trigger on that, it would take a long time to see the Demon's entrance at WrestleMania, maybe taking on Brock Lesnar, and then you have the Demon versus the Beast, and then you've got Balor Club on the outside to help neutralize Brock a little bit. Yeah, with Paul Heyman and everything. So, yeah, I mean, because I would probably say my top four, or my final four that I'd like to see would probably be like Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor. With the names that we've got on here right now, I mean Rusev, obviously. Yeah. Maybe Roman Reigns, just to be like maybe eliminated as the last elimination or the one before. Yeah. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like Randy Orton, I do like John Cena. They've done so much for the company. They have, not enough can be said. However, I
I think it's about time that some of the very seasoned veterans need to start giving, some more time to some of the newer, generation. I really think.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, a lot of times when we've had, like Roman Reigns come in at 30, or, when we were wanting Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble, a couple of years ago, and when he got eliminated out of nowhere, I mean, it literally was, it was like the turd in the punch bowl, pretty much. I mean, like nobody, because people, at that point, if I remember correctly, for the second half of that Rumble match, everybody was doing a CM Punk chant for like a half hour straight, and I was just like, oh my God, this is not going to end well for Mania. And it really didn't. Well, Seth Rollins cashing in the Money in the Bank at 31, that was, because I really didn't want to see Reigns win the title. And, I really didn't want to see Lesnar retain it back then. So that was kind of a nice little change up. But but I would definitely like to see either, and like you said, Rusev, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I really would. Or Finn Balor. I mean, Shinsuke, it would be nice, but I think he might need a little more time.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit. I mean, and who knows, maybe they could even have him have a feud with The Miz before Mania for the Intercontinental title, because, if you think about it, the Intercontinental title's always been that belt that is the stepping stone to a heavyweight championship. And it's kind of hard now because of all the titles they have now. I mean, if you think about it, you got the U.S. title, the list goes on and on. Because, like when we were growing up, it was the heavyweight title, the Intercontinental title, and the tag teams. So, and now with the brand split, you've got, like, how many titles now? I mean, it just, why don't we just, if we're gonna have any more titles, why don't we just bring back the $1 million belt while we're at it?
Yeah, you've got the 2 women's titles, the 2 tag titles, the 2 mid cards, the 2 big titles, and then the cruiserweight.
Yeah.
So 9 belts.
Wow. Yeah.
And if you even go farther, you're going to have 2 briefcases. You have a men's and a women's briefcase.
It just seems like we're getting a little too much lately.
Yep.
But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
I think we've gone through all the predictions and all that, and it still only shows on my thing 3 people watching. Hey,
it's all good.
3 people is 3 people. So.
Well, a lot of times, there was some technical difficulty, putting it on, on my channel. So the people that probably saw my Facebook post probably are wondering, dude, what the hell? But, I'll just eventually probably just render this video off, my computer, and then just repost it on my channel too. That way, in case anybody missed it on either one of our channels, we can enjoy it that way.
Cool.
So, other than that, everybody, we hope you enjoyed this. Once again, Josh, thank you for doing this little live stream with me. Cool. It's always a pleasure. I missed you, man. Hopefully we'll be able to. And I live in Joliet now, so hopefully we might be able to see each other a little more often. But everybody, make sure.